When we talk about the timeline of your campaign and deciding whether to go auction or private treaty, this is one of the things and the way we explain it to prospective sellers about the difference in the timeline of a campaign. And we start with private treaty. And let's say in private treaty, what will happen is week one, we'll have an open home. And then one of two things will happen. In our best case scenario, now this is the best case scenario, is we meet the right buyer week one, we get to a price that you're comfortable with. And now what happens from there is you'll go under contract. Now, what under contract means is you're committed to the buyer 100%, but they're not committed to you 100%. They'll go into a cooling off period. They'll pay a deposit of 0.25% of the deposit, and that's non-refundable. So what happens? You're committed 100%. You can't back out, but the buyer, they've got the option to pay a small fee and back out. So we don't have an open home week two. We get to this point after that, and what happens in the mid after the second week is it either cools off and goes unconditional, which is great because we're sold, or more than likely, they're going to ask for an extension to that cooling off period and take you out to 10 business days. So if that happens, you lose week three. Now that's 2 weeks we've been out of the marketplace, and then we hit our inflection point. One of two things happens. We're either sold, great news, or we rescind the contract. The buyer sacrifices that small deposit, and it's like a game of snakes and ladders. We go all the way back to the start. Now, the problem with this is we have lost 2 critical weeks in the marketplace. You're investing all this money into your advertising, your marketing campaign, and there's 2 whole weeks in the marketplace where buyers aren't engaging with your property. And what happens after that is people go, well, what's wrong with it? Why didn't it sell? Now let's look at auction. What happens with auction and the structure of the campaign? Week one, we'll have an open home. Week two, we'll have an open home. We'll get to the mid of the campaign and we can discuss where we're at. Are we comfortable with the level of inquiry that we're receiving? Do we think it's at the right numbers? Do we need to make a change? And if not, we keep going. We do an open home week three. We get to the week of the auction where there's one of two things that can happen. We may make a choice to sell prior to auction, or we continue ahead. Now understand, if you take an offer during this period of the auction campaign, it's unconditional. The buyer will produce a 66W certificate. And what that does, it waives their cooling off rights. You'll go unconditional. The property is sold. The price you accept is the price you get. You don't have to worry about them coming back to ask for changes to the price. Or we go to the auction. Now at the auction, we either have a result where we sell, again, unconditional, no cooling off periods. The price you accept is the price that you get, or we set up for the second stage of the campaign. And from there, we'll move to a private treaty scenario. It may well be an expressions of interest. It may well just be to put a price on it. But the difference is we will have 4 full weeks of information to know exactly where the property sits in the marketplace. We haven't sat there and sacrificed 2 weeks of our campaign and our marketing to send a message potentially to the market that there's something wrong. We will have learned so much. So it's up to you, the timeline of the campaign. When you take the theatrics of an auction away, it is just a process, a date and time to make a decision. And the beauty is at auction, when you make a decision, that's the price you get.